بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى صدق الله العلي العظيم. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise is due to our Creator, our Cherisher, our Nourisher and our Sustainer. We bear witness there's none worthy of worship but Allah. We bear witness we believe in all the prophets who came throughout history, and we bear witness that Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, is the final of all the emissaries of Allah. Respected elders, brothers, I greet you and sisters, respected youth. I greet you with the Islamic universal greeting of peace. May the peace, the mercy and the blessings of Allah be upon each and every one present. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Today is a major day in the lives of many students and of course their parents. It is the day of the announcement of the matric results, a much anticipated day when the uncertainty of results may cause emotions to run high and may cause people to be very concerned and even sometimes somewhat distressed. It is natural on occasions like these, which are rare by the way, to feel on edge, to feel nervous, to feel anxious on this, what you call results day. Especially since those results could determine whether a student, your child, your son, your daughter, grandchild, whether they could attend the chosen career path at their preferred college, at their preferred university or institution. We had our results this morning, alhamdulillah, at Islamia. 116 of our students matriculated. 39 have achieved either A or B pass. In fact, 168 subject distinctions. 14 of these students attained an A aggregate. And 6 of those 14 are also Hafidhul Quran from our institution. For those who have done well, we say Mabruk, congratulations. And for those who may not have done as well as they anticipated, it is fundamentally important for us as parents and grandparents and even for students to realize that the result of an exam does not define your success. The result of an exam doesn't define your success. If someone did extremely well, alhamdulillah, mashallah, it's an opening of a door. But at the same time, it's very important to be aware that for those who may not have done as well, to reflect of alternate colleges that they may go to from the preferred one, or consider improving on their results if they want to reapply perhaps in future or later to other institutions. How do we deal with this? I'm not only speaking about students, but even in our daily lives as individuals when these kind of events occur. One of the important aspects to remember that a bend in the road, as I always say, is not the end of the road unless you fail to take the turn. A bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to take the turn. Remember, matric results mark the end of school days. It does not mark the end of your potential or of your future choices. So in preparation for days and occasions like these, and for all major strivings, even in our own lives, whether at school, whether at college, whether at work, whether in careers, whether in relationships, whether in business, I wish us to develop 3 points, and I will address this in my presentation here today. One is to develop an attitude that nurtures a culture of success. Matric results is an event, is an announcement. It's a culmination of years of study or preparation or involvement that results in this. It's not a single event, many major things in our lives. are not only in events, we witness the event, but it's a culmination of a lot of things through a period of time. So we need to develop an attitude that nurtures a culture of success. Habits that prepare us to achieve greater heights. Habits that prepare us to achieve greater heights, and a mentality that motivates us to do the best that we can. As we know in Islam, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ إِذَا عَمَلَ أَحَدُكُمْ عَمَلًا أَن يُتْقِنَهُ. Allah loves if you do something, you must do it as well as you can, do it with excellence to the best of your ability. And I believe this begins with the understanding وَأَن لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى, where Allah says the human being shall only achieve and attain what he or she strives for. So of course this can be in relation to the hereafter, the good you do in this world, you know, the consequence of the hereafter. You do good, you get good. Al jazaa'u al-ihsan illa al-ihsan. But also in our daily lives. Ittaqullah wal tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad. What you do has consequences. So the human being shall only achieve what he or she strives for. وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى, and he or she will see or witness the consequence of their efforts and their strivings. No effort, don't expect success. So we realize that a journey of 1,000 miles or 1,000 kilometers begins with a single step. The most vital aspect is to realize the value of that first step. That first step towards enhancement or towards improvement. You can initiate the first step by beginning with muhasabah, a critical self-evaluation, introspection, self-inventory, honest self-analysis, and a self-appraisal. The Prophet ﷺ requested of us, hasibu, make critical evaluation of yourself, hasibu qabla an tuhasabu, and so on. But also he reminded us, man istawa yawmahu fahuwa maghbun. If 2 of your days are the same, then you are wasting something. Every day should be a step towards improvement. So every day is an opportunity for improvement. When it comes to aiming for success in any endeavor, people often become overwhelmed and are unsure of where to start, become overwhelmed. And this prevents many people from starting at all. They are where they are, they want to be there. It seems so far away, they become overwhelmed and they don't start at all. Some look at the destination or the end result and they are so overcome by what they see that they remain where they are. And therefore realize you cannot cross the ocean by staying on the beach. Otherwise, you will always remain on the shore. If you diet, for example, and you want to lose 20 kilos, it's not an event, it's not an occasion, it is not a step. It is a process, a series of steps over a period of time that requires discipline, eating less, cutting your intake of sugar or cold drinks, increasing your exercise, leaving certain things, avoiding certain things, and doing certain things. If you want to become a hafiz, you have to memorize the Quran word by word, sentence by sentence, ayah by ayah, till you complete the Quran. You can't decide that inshallah tonight I'll make tahajjud salah and make dua the whole night. Oh Allah, make me hafiz. You will not become hafiz. That's not the nature of how things work. You'll have to learn word by word, ayah by ayah, from the ba of basmallah to the scene of an-nas. Then you become a hafiz. Yes, you make dua, you can make tahajjud. That in itself motivates you, prepares you, mentally strengthens you. It doesn't make you a hafiz. You still have to become hafiz. So too with exams. If you have 35% in science and want to get 60%, for example, it does not happen with one class or one tutorial, but a series of steps that allows improvement over time that eventually leads to desired or better results. Once I humorously asked one of my shuyukh, I'm a lover of, I like to watch sports and soccer and so on and so forth. So I told the Sheikh, one of my shuyukh, if 2 teams are playing in a cup final match and both spend the whole night making dua that they win, which team will win? And the Sheikh said, I suppose the team that trained the hardest and more importantly, the team that played the best on the day. So you cannot bypass effort, which is required for achievement, because there are no shortcuts to success. As the saying goes, no pain, no gain, no effort, no success. Fortunately, aiming for success or accomplishing great achievements does not have to be difficult or complicated, but it does require a tremendous amount of commitment. What is required is to deliberately, to intentionally, to purposefully take small steps in the direction of improvement, one step at a time, and let those small steps add up to big change. Look at the life of Rasulullah. 13 years in Makkah. In 13 years in Makkah, he didn't have a quarter of this audience as his followers. Not even a quarter of this masjid now he had as followers after 13 years of preaching in Makkah, in his hometown, where they called him As-Sadiq and Al-Amin. But he did not give up. One step at a time, one person at a time, one revelation at a time, one day of example every day, enhancing the people, empowering those who wish to be empowered. You see, this requires patience. It may require bearing some inconveniences. That's why people don't leave the shore, they stay on the beach. Even overcoming some challenges at times. But that is how you become victorious in your life. And that's how you overcome the battles of life. And that's how you can achieve or attain or be successful in your endeavors. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in a hadith documented in the Musnad of Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, said, وَعَلَمْ أَنَّ فِي الصَّبْرِ عَلَى مَا تَكْرَهُ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا وَأَنَّ النَّصْرَ مَعَ الصَّبْرِ وَأَنَّ الْفَرَجَ مَعَ الْكَرْبِ وَأَنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. He said, know that there's much good in being patient in those things that may be inconvenient, maybe disliked. I got to do this, I got to exercise, I got to learn, I got to study, I got to read, I got to memorize, got to wake up earlier, do this. It may seem inconvenient and you may dislike that, but remember the Rasul said, for surely victory comes with patience. Relief comes with enduring trials and afflictions and difficulty, and hardships and difficulty will bring you the ease that you eventually require. So it's so easy to overestimate the importance of one major event, one major moment. But we forget that these major events and moments, if we have a culture and attitude and mentality of improvement bit by bit, we can achieve the goal we required. Too often we convince ourselves that the massive success requires massive action at one time. No, it requires consistent, dedicated little actions. I'm particularly mentioning this for parents and for educators and all of us, because we come at the end of the year in November, never worrying about the child's results, never bothering whether they attended school, never worrying whether they did their homework, never worrying about the absenteeism. How can my child, he wants to do medicine or whatever, how would you get an A? It's way too late. You should have bothered about that in grade 7 already. Can he do maths? Is he good in science? Should he do medicine? Is this meant for him? Do you want to become a doctor, or do you want him to become a doctor? You need to be very careful about this, because sometimes we do this and we place an unnecessary burden on those who may not be able to manage what you impose upon them. So it's easy to overestimate the importance of a major moment, but it comes about through a series, and this is the culture that we need to inculcate. You see, when you look at sometimes water, or you go in a cave and you see drips of water, drip, slow drip, and you find it hollows out the stone. And the Roman poet Ovid wrote, dripping water hollows out the stone, not through the force of the water, but through the persistence of the drop. The persistence of the drop. And in Chinese, a friend told me, and I don't know if I said properly, said, Shui Di Shi Chuan, which means in Chinese, constant dripping of water wears away the stone. Not the gushing force of the water, but the constancy of the little drip. What we call the aggregation of marginal gains. the collective result of small things over a period of time. And therefore, we must reflect on this notion, even with our young ones, this notion of improvement by 1%. 1% improvement isn't particularly notable. Sometimes it's not even noticeable. But it can be far more meaningful, especially in the long run. The difference a tiny improvement can make over time is remarkable. Never underestimate the overall significance of little steps we take. And that's why the Prophet encouraged us. In Sunan Ibn Majah, hadith documented, Inna khayr al-a'mali adwamuha wa in qal. The best of these are those which are done regularly and consistently, even if they are little by little. And here's how the maths work. If you consider improvement by addition, what they call improvement by addition, trying to do something, if you can get 1% better in something each day, only 1%, 1% better each day for 1 year, say in maths or in science or whatever it may be, or in your work, whatever, on your relationship, you'll end up 37 times better than you were after that one period of 1 year if you are consistent with the 1%. What starts as a little effort and a small win accumulates into something much more. Salma, the beloved wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said to the Prophet, كان أحب الأعمال إليه العمل الصالح الذي يدوم عليه العبد وإن كان يسيرا. He said the Prophet was constantly doing what was best or good, even if it was seemingly easy or seemingly little bit. That is why small choices may not seem to make much of a difference at a time, but it adds to great success and achievement over a long time. Easier than improvement by addition is the improvement by subtraction. You see, you want to lose weight, for example, you may have to go and jog, but you can also cut down on fats. So one is by addition, you have to do something. The other one is stop doing something which is bad for you. So one is by addition, and the other one is by subtraction. Just avoid doing something which you are doing. It's less work, in fact. I don't say you mustn't jog, by the way, don't get me wrong, or cycle. I'm just saying there are both ways of looking at it. And here you have to do something, not to do something, but avoid things. For a healthy dietary reasons, if a person stops drinking 1 can of Coke, 1 can of Coke contains 24.8 grams of sugar, 1 can. If you give up drinking 1 can a day, by the end of 1 year, you'd have given up 9.1 kilogram of sugar in your body. 9.1, forget the fatty foods and all that, samosas and kusistas. Only 1 can of Coke, you have minimized the ingestion of 9.1 kilogram of sugar by that. Incremental. It's 1 can today. Over a year, there's 1 can for every day. It comes to 9 kilos over a period of time. Small things. Sometimes you avoid something. It can even be in our character. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One day was Anas bin Malik reports. He was in a gathering of Sahaba, and he said to them, يَتْلُو عَلَيْكُمْ الْآنَ رَجُلٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ. There'll come a man now, he's one of the people of paradise. So the people look at the door of the masjid, the entrance of the masjid, and here they saw a man coming, and the hadith describes, his hair was disheveled, he was still wet with the wudu water, and he was carrying shoes, his sandals in his left hand, walking into the masjid. People looked, who's this man? He doesn't even look well dressed or so. And he comes and he prays. So one of the Sahaba went to him and said, I have some issue. Is it possible I could spend some time with you? I need you to help me and just resolve the issue. The man said, sure, you come to my home. And he stayed with the man for some time, for a day or two, according to some reports, for 3 days. And then he realized this man doesn't do anything extraordinary. He doesn't even spend the whole night in prayer. Why would he be of the people of Jannah? What did he do? He's not even doing what we do. He prays, of course. He prays, but he makes some dhikr, but not tahajjud the whole night or reading Quran. What did he do? Why is he the people of Jannah? And he asked, but what is unique about you? He said, nothing. He said, مَا هُوَ إِلَّا مَا رَأَيْتَ. I am just what you see. There's nothing more to it. غير أني لا أجد في نفسي لأحد من المسلمين غش ولا أحسد أحدا على خير أعطاه الله إياه. He said, only I don't do anything, but I avoid being dishonest to people. deceptive, deceiving to people, and I carry not in my heart any envy. If anyone receives something good, I try not to be envious. So he is avoiding bad stuff. He didn't do more good stuff, he avoided bad stuff. Improvement by subtraction. By avoiding the bad stuff, avoiding fitna, avoiding gossiping, you can improve your character. So many people, they improve the salah, but they also improve the gossip, increase the gossip. So you don't become a good person, you become a good person who's making salah. So be very careful of this. MashaAllah, I used to make salah once a day, now I make 4 times a day. Next year maybe 5 times. But I still, my gossip continues, so I haven't become a better Muslim. I've become a more regular musalli. There's difference between a regular musalli and being a better Muslim. So it's very important, the aggregate of marginal gains. One of the great obstacles that I wish to conclude with this, to achievement and success, is procrastination, where we delay something. You say when you delay easy things, the easy things become compounded. You do not keep your accounts in your business, for example. Or student doesn't do their homework or keep their work up to date. And many times, parents must be observant of this. You do not keep your accounts in your business up to date, or the student doesn't keep their work up to date. And then it piles up over a period of time and creates an enormous backlog. Enormous backlog. The week of the exam for the student, or the week of the taxes for the businessman, he tries to get everything up to date, but due to time constraints, it becomes overwhelming. You see, if you delay simple things, they could later become difficult because of the accumulation and then the time constraints. Doing the account just every day is 2 minutes work. Checking up your homework, 4 or 5 minutes work. But if you accumulate, that easy thing becomes difficult, and difficult things can become impossible. A major consideration is to realize in all of this the value of the limited time we have. Because at the end of the year for school, it's an exam. At the end of the financial year, fiscal year, it's time for your taxes, an example. And Ibn Ata'Allah al-Iskandari, he said in his hikam, ما فات من عمرك لا عوض له وما حصل لك منه لا قيمة له. He said the time that has gone by is irreplaceable, and the time that has arrived is beyond value. And he adds in his writing, in explanation, بقية العمر عندي ما لها ثمن. What remains of your time is priceless. We need to carefully consider. Put our lives in proper context and do what needs to be done with full vigor in all aspects. Whether it's our young ones studying at school, whether it's we in our business, whether it be in our relationship, whether it be with our deen. Life really happens at the level of action, not so much at the level of thought, neither at the level of circumstances, nor of emotions, nor of ideas, nor of beliefs, nor of missions and visions. All these are necessary. But these, all of them, provide the platform of circumstance for us to be able to build the stages of our life that we require. You've got to put your own act together and be the architect of your life. Don't wait for things to happen, make things happen. People say, time flies, then be the pilot of the time. Jalaluddin Rumi, in one of his prayers, said, "Oh Allah, let us not be of those content to wait and see what will happen. Oh Allah, let us not be of those content to wait and see what will happen, but grant us the determination and the capacity to make the right things happen." खुदी को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रदा क्या है. Allama Iqbal writes, imbue yourself with such kind of consideration that you are able to become the architects of your destiny by engaging in those things that affect your life. So if we reflect on the oft-repeated verse, ittaqullaha wal tanzur nafsum ma qaddamat lighad, carefully consider, this reminds us that tomorrow and the hereafter as well, the responsibility of the present. And the better we get at living the present at the moment, the better we are in appreciating the consequence of the future. Success and achievements arise out of small, consistent, incremental acts of improvement that pave the way to excellence. You celebrate an event But the event is an accumulation of a series of things that happen over a period of time. And the more we do the right things in the right manner, timeously, we have greater moments of achievement and less anxiety and anxiousness when those moments do arise. This is in keeping with the prophetic advice, خَيْرُ الْأَعْمَالِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلْ. The best deeds are those which are done timeously, regularly, consistently, even if they are little by little. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Jazakumullah khairan to Sheikh Sadullah for that inspirational talk. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant Sheikh health and strength, inshallah, to continue inspiring all of us for many more years to come. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. And just to say congratulations to all the matriculants of Islamia who have passed, alhamdulillah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase them in the studies, Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them in their future endeavors, Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. And from the Masjid committee side, we would like to say Mubarak to Ziyad Bandikar, who has achieved 100% for maths. He has the highest score for mathematics in the country, alhamdulillah. And he has achieved 99% for accountancy, 9 distinctions, alhamdulillah. One of our regular musallis here at the Masjid. His grandfather was a regular musalli here at the Masjid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him Jannatul Firdaus. And also he, from Rondabos, he used to come to Masjid here when he was still schooling. And his uncle is sitting here also. I don't want to point out his uncle Nazir Bhai is sitting here, Bandikar. And we say Mubarak to the Bandikar family for the great achievement of the young brother Ziyad. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him success in his future studies. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all our youth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide all our youth. And those who did not achieve the successful result they wanted to achieve, if at first you don't succeed, try again and keep on. Do not stop trying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant success. وَأَلَّيْسَ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَلَّيْسَ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Man shall achieve that which he strives for. So let's keep on striving, inshallah. We're never too old to learn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us all. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على
الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم، ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: وقل اعملوا فسيرى الله عملكم ورسوله والمؤمنون وستردون إلى عالم الغيب والشهادة فينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون. وقال الله تعالى: وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى. صدق الله العلي العظيم. وقال النبي حبيبنا المصطفى صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى أهل بيته وأصحابه: واعلم أن النصر مع الصبر، وأن الفرج مع الكرب، وأن مع العسر يسرا. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم: إن خير الأعمال أدومها وإن قل، أو كما قال: صدقت يا رسول الله. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا. الله أكبر. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. نحمده ونستعينه ونستهدي ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهدي الله فلا مضل له، ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، ونشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا ورسولنا وحبيبنا وشفيعنا وسيدنا وسندنا ومولانا محمد عبده ورسوله. قال الله تعالى في شان حبيبي: يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا. فقال الله تعالى مخبرا وآمرا قولا كريما: إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وصحبه وبارك وسلم. اللهم اغفر لجميع المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات، ارفع لهم الدرجات وكفر عنهم السيئات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله
صلى الله عليه وسلم.
حي على
لا
الصلاة
حول ولا قوة إلا
حي
بالله.
على الفلاح
لا حول.
قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة
أقام الله لنا
الله
صلاة.
أكبر الله
الله
أكبر
أكبر.
لا
لا
إله
إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. استقيم يرحمكم الله. صلى الله عليه وسلم. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. استغفر الله العظيم، استغفر الله العظيم، استغفر الله العظيم. التواب الرحيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم، نتوب إليك ونسألك التوبة والمغفرة والهداية لنا فإنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان الله والحمد لله ولا إله إلا الله والله أكبر ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وأصحابه وبارك وسلم. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يعود السلام، فحينا ربنا بالسلام وأدخلنا الجنة برحمتك دارك دار السلام. تباركت ربنا وتعاليت وتعظمت وتكرمت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. اللهم احفظنا من سيء الأسقام، اللهم احفظنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة، فالله خير حافظا وهو أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا وارحم موتانا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه ونور عرشه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربنا رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.